In case you missed anything that I said, I always give my telephone number out, 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. But definitely put that on your calendar. May 23rd through the 27th, Chase Bank is putting together the Detroit Startup Week Base Camp. So for you entrepreneurs, you have questions, this is the time to rub elbows with some of our city's finest entrepreneurs and CEOs. Take advantage of it. It's absolutely free. Go online to their website and register. They have an Eventbrite set up for you where you can get a ticket to get in, but it's absolutely free. Next, I want to tell you about a competition being held by Wells Fargo. They're offering $100,000 in prize money to 5 finalists of the Next Challenge Smart Cities competition. Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, what is that? Actually, imagine a competition that is promoting for people with great imaginations, engineering abilities, or just a great invention spirit to compete and come up with ideas that will help benefit our city in an innovative way. So imagine a morning commute where your car will alert you of a pothole. Now, I don't know about you, but I actually lost the axle. I think that was last year because the streets were so raggedy. Had I had an alert button on my car, that would have been awesome. And they just have so many different areas to compete in. So what you want to do, if you want to get information on that, you go to nextenergy.org, nextenergy.org/next challenge, or just Google next challenge. It should come up for you. The winner will get up to $80,000 in grant funding from Wells Fargo. So if you know somebody who has a creative mindset that can create, they definitely need to enter this competition. They're going to have as many as 4 finalists. The deadline is July 28th. And this challenge is designed to identify new innovations to address issues as we face downtown Detroit, for example, that's just going through so much growth, so they're asking for people to submit their ideas, and they're going to give them money to actually make it come true. So I'm excited about that too. Great things going on in the city of Detroit. I also want to remind you that the recall for Governor Rick Snyder is still on and in full effect. You want to check out stopsnyder.com. That's stopsnyder.com. You can also call this number, area code 313-451-1304. That's 313-451-1304. If you want more information, definitely this man needs to be held accountable for his actions. As we all know, we have suffered so many things because of his poor leadership as it relates to emergency management. The city of Flint is still suffering from the effects of the water being switched to the Flint River, lead poisoning, Legionnaire's disease, just so many countless catastrophes, the effect that keeps going on and on and on, and yet and still they are still suffering with lead in their water. It has not been resolved. Those pipes need to be pulled up, and they need to be given what they justly deserve. And I don't think it's fair that he should still be able to carry on as the governor. He needs to be held accountable. So if you agree with me, you want to call area code 313-451-1304, so you can either sign a petition. You can also circulate a petition. They are still training people. They still need volunteers to work in the office. So if this is something you feel passionate about as well, again, 313-451-1304. Also, tonight, Tuesday, May the 17th, for you Detroit residents in District 7 and neighboring communities, if you have any concerns that are city related, The City Council community meeting is tonight from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at Evangel Ministries. That's Evangel Ministries, located at 13660 Stansbury. 13660 Stansbury, off Grand River Avenue. So those of you in District 7 who have concerns that you want to voice to your leaders, this is definitely the opportunity for you to get involved. You can identify any of your concerns and request discussions or upcoming public hearings on issues related to your neighborhood. And requests for discussions before presentations to the City Council, in case you didn't know, can be made to the Legislative Policy Division, and that number is area code 313-224-4946. That's area code 313-224-4946. So, it's time to stop talking about it, and it's time to be about it. You have the opportunity to open your mouth and let your voice be heard. A lot of times we do open our mouth, but we talk to the people who really can't do anything about it. You need to be talking to those who are elected and have been placed in office to represent you. And so, again, I admonish you, I encourage you to stand up, let your voice be heard, and get involved. Again, that number is 313-224-4946 if you want to bring something up before your council. All right, I have another announcement for you music lovers. In case you didn't know, I am a Hawkins fanatic. Edwin Hawkins and Walter Hawkins, they wrote so many legendary gospel songs. Edwin Hawkins, who is still living, he is carrying on the vision of the Music and Arts Fellowship. A lot of you may remember it as the seminar. And so it's coming up actually June 26th through July the 1st, and it's going to be held right in the city of Chicago, which is nowhere from Detroit, just about 3.5 hours. I checked out the hotel where we'll be staying. It is awesome, and it's going to be an action-packed week. Now, some of you belong to churches, and you may have someone in leadership, or you yourself may be trying to lead something in the music department or in the arts department, and you may need to get a little help, a little inspiration, a little education on how to make your church operate in excellence. A lot of times, it's amazing to me. Church is the only place that you can come and be anything you want to be, whether you're qualified or not. I'm just telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. You have some people who could barely read, but when they get to church, they are the chairman of the trustee board. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, getting serious, no. The Edwin Hawkins and Walter Hawkins Music and Arts Conference is a conference that provides education to the body of Christ. It's not about any particular type of religion or denomination. It's just for those who love music, gospel music, and want to advance and enhance your gifts. This is the place for you to be. Some of the courses that we're going to be offering, I am the Detroit chapter leader, and if you want to go, you need to call me at 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. I'll give you information on how you can register. It's only $25 to attend during the entire week, and we're going to have some awesome music. But as far as the classes go, we have the business of gospel music. Some of you may be interested in learning about copywriting, publishing, how to become a booking agent, recording, producing, promoting, public relations, road managing. All of those things are important when you consider taking your career as an artist to another level. And it's not just necessarily restricted to gospel artists, but any type of artist that's interested in getting some firsthand information on people who are in the business. This class is definitely a great option for you to consider. We also have choir decorum and directing. Now, I don't know about you, but some of these places, some of these churches I go to, I don't know what they're doing. It has come a long way from back in the day when we had the legendary James Cleveland and Pastor Charles Nixon and the choir robes and things of that nature. You know, you have people, if you're not careful, I've seen people, uh, just the other day, someone walked into the choir stand in the middle of a song. Don't do that. That's why we need these classes on choir decorum. We also have drama, gospel music ministry, the history of gospel music, mass choir rehearsals because we're going to be having a concert at the end of the week. We have a musicians class for those of you who may be wanting to brush up on your music theory, or you may want to learn something about music theory. Perhaps you want to start learning how to read music. We have piano and keyboard techniques. We also have sacred dance, which I think is important. Um, Sometimes we see other churches and ministries doing things and we just try to wing it and assume that what we're doing is correct when really we have not been trained properly. So this is the opportunity, this is the venue for you to come and get yourself formally educated. You pastors that are watching me, you want to send your members to this conference. And also we have something even for you as pastors. We have a pastors fellowship that you would definitely enjoy. Some of the more known evangelists will be there that week ministering to us. So it's something for everyone to do, even the youth. We also have vocal techniques and praise and worship. So, again, if you're interested in attending the Hawkins Music and Arts Conference, you want to call me at 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. And that's coming up the last week of June, going to July the 1st. An awesome way to spend one of your vacation weeks this summer. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you at 248-633-8562. I'm getting ready to go to a break. When I come back, I'm going to give you a couple of more money tips and then I'm going to open up the lines. I want to talk to you about some of the events that took place this weekend, especially the little baby that was in the car that got carjacked. I want to get some of your input on what you think about that. Keep it locked in, WHPR 33. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for keeping it locked in right here on WHPR 33. And listen, if you have not downloaded our mobile app, you need to. WHPR 33. Why? Because Mr. Watkins has upped the game. We now have on demand on our mobile app. So in case you miss our show when it's live, you can definitely go on there and click on demand and you will find all of the shows being archived. So shout out to Mr. RJ Watkins for doing what you do best, and that is making us cutting edge media as African Americans. We are African American owned. I'm just so excited to be a part of this station. All right, I'm down to my last 10 minutes. I want to talk to you. I don't know when this started, but maybe about a year ago, we started receiving Amber Alerts on our phones. And the first time it happened, I know everybody that I talked to was just overwhelmed because I think it went off like, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning. It scared everybody because the phones were making a sound that we had never heard before. For those of us who lived here in Detroit, the Amber Alert was issued in a city that most of us had never even heard of. And so lately, when children come up missing, our cell phone carriers notify us. The other day, I received an alert not only on my phone, but on my iPad, which was interesting to me. Um, I didn't even know that I was going to get an alert on my iPad. So it's just very interesting to me. And the other day, we had an incident. In case you missed it, there was a carjacking. And in the car was a 3-month-old baby. She was in the back seat when the car was taken. And the story is very bizarre to me because, one, who leaves a baby, in the car? I believe the car was running in the dark while you run into a liquor store. So my $1 million question is, what was he getting out of that store? But anyway, that being said, that's neither here nor there. We thank God that the baby was found on someone's porch and she's safe, and that story ended well. However, what was interesting to me is I am a Sprint customer and I did not get an Amber Alert. Um, Also, I felt that the alert was issued out way after the fact. I think it was almost 7 hours before they got that issue alert out. So, my question is, a lot of people on Facebook were implying that perhaps this baby's Amber Alert was held back or delayed as a racially motivated intent, meaning that most of the children that we've seen these Amber Alerts for are Caucasian, and this being a black baby seemed to not get the immediate attention that a lot of people felt that she should have been given. My phone number here is 313-868-0342. That's 313-868-0342. I want to hear your comments. If you had any thoughts about that as well, as it relates to this little baby, a 7 hour, almost 7 hour delay before that Amber Alert was issued. That's 313-868-0342. I decided to do a little research on the process of how Amber Alerts are issued. One thing I can tell you is that when an Amber Alert is sent out, it's for children under the age of 17. But a child in Michigan, as far as the Michigan child law, is actually under the age of 18. Then we have the secondary law that's called Susan's Law, and it extends to the provisions of the missing child to the age of 21. So actually, anyone under the age of 21 can be handled as a missing juvenile. What qualifies a missing child for an Amber Alert? First is the child has to either suffer from a severe mental or physical disability that greatly impairs the child's ability to take care of him or herself. The child also has to be a victim of a stranger or acquaintance kidnapping. And finally, if the child is in the company of a person who has a confirmed criminal history of child abuse or neglect, sexual assault, domestic assault, or a crime involving victimization of children, or has statements of intent to harm the missing child, or is suicidal, or if the child has been abducted by a non-custodial parent whose parental rights have been terminated by the court. So anytime an Amber Alert is issued out, one of those things have been determined to be true. There's a lot that goes on actually into putting a child Amber Alert in place. I'm still confused on why did it take so long for them to issue that alert. I did have a caller, but I think I lost you. You can call back 313-868-0342. 313-868-0342. But, you know, there are several things that come to mind as it relates to some of these parenting skills that are going on, even with the 5-year-old that got a hold to a gun under her grandmother's pillow. Um, Mothers, and I know there are some mothers that are working and they can't do it all, but even as it relates to grandparents, grandparent is not the parent. Now, it's one thing if the parent is deceased and sometimes a grandparent steps in, but a lot of cases, especially even in my own circle, I see a lot of times people put their kids off on their parents. And some of you know your parents are elderly. They can't run behind some of these little kids. I watch kids at the store, and the grandparents are steady calling the name. They steady running the other way. Parents, we need you to step up. Mothers, you know, fathers love their children, but you know they don't. You know they don't pay attention like they should. So, children that are so commonplace with their grandparents to the point when the parents say, come on, let's go, and they say, go where? I don't want to spend the night with you. You need to do a little bit more as a parent. And mothers, we need you to step it up. It's one thing, I understand sometimes you have, to share parental rights or whatever, but let's get back to the day when mothers took the time to be mothers. There's no more clubbing. Your life is not your own anymore. The reason why a lot of this stuff is going on is because mothers need to come back to being mothers and take full responsibilities of the children that we bring into this world. Well, my time is up. I thank you so much for being a part of my show. I'll be back next Tuesday at 2 p.m. right here on WHPR 33.